Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, I'm sure you see it on the screen here. I'm sure you saw it in the thumbnail. We're going to be checking out Blue Yellow Ace. That's right, ST-13 Ace. Black Yellow Luffy came out in the same starter deck. I think it was the ST-13 Ultimate or Ultra starter deck. And it came out with Red Yellow Sabo and Black Yellow Luffy and Blue Yellow Ace. And, out of those three, unfortunately, this was kind of my least favorite, and that had nothing to do with the character in the anime or the manga. I don't know anything about that. It had nothing to do with the power level of the deck either, just the way that the leader functioned. And I will dive more into that as we get into the video, but, I gotta say, this is an interesting leader, and I have a lot to say about it, but like I said, let me not get too far ahead of myself. Let me tell you guys what we're going to be getting into in today's video. We do have a little, we got a little bit we got to get through. First up, we're going to head over to the lab. Okay, and we're going to check out a game of Green-Blue Rosinante versus Green-Yellow Yamato. Very fun, very good stuff there. Then we're going to hop over to the OnePieceTopDecks.com website. That we'll check out how Blue Yellow Ace has done, mainly in the East, because I haven't really seen much pop up in the West, except one result we'll talk about when we get there. Then we will go over to the sim and check out 5 games on the sim of me playing Blue Yellow Ace. And then we'll finish up with a deck analysis, and I'll give my final thoughts and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you guys know what you're getting into now. Real quick, the way that I do these, don't worry, if you want to skip around just to the games on the sim, you'll be able to do that. If you want to hop over to the deck analysis, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description of the video. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into this, guys. Let's hop over to the lab and check out this really interesting-looking game of Rosinante versus Yamato. And as usual, guys, I don't mention it much. Sometimes I forget to mention it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask and put it in the comment section below. All right, so first up, here's the game we have in store. Now, this is a community-submitted video. Notice at the bottom right of the screen it says, want me to review your gameplay? We'll hop on the Discord. If you want to, at this point, if you want to hop in line to have your gameplay reviewed by me on stream, or not stream, but, in a video, notice I block out the names. No one can see who it is. It's totally private and all that good stuff. If you're interested in me reviewing a game in a video, excuse me, all you have to do is record the game. Most people use OBS as their recording software, and it's just a free, it's a free program to use. They will record the game with OBS, and then you upload it to YouTube, and then you can make it private where no one can see it, and then you hop on the Discord, the VV Theory Discord, and you will put the link in I have an entire channel for it called Review My Game. You put it in there, I give it a little thumbs up emoji when I see it, and I add it to the list. So if you're interested, by all means hop on there and do that. Okay, now, without any further ado, let's hop into this game. The volume is off, speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. Okay, now I have not seen this game. I don't look at any of these games before they come out. Speaking of that, I have had an issue with that. So I do all these videos in a single take, okay, for those who are not aware. I've had to edit videos a few times in the past. I try not to do that. It just adds more, it makes it more of a burden to me having to do more and more for it. Someone submitted a video one time that was edited, okay, where they put memes in and stuff like that. When a questionable play happened, they put their own edit in there. Please do not submit those videos to me, because all it's going to do is, make my life harder, because then I see the meme, and now I have to edit the video and, go around it in that way. So, guys, I'm all for you submitting videos, but please do not edit them. Just send me unedited gameplay, and we'll go from there. All right, sorry, guys, I had to get that off my chest real quick. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is the game. We got Rosinante versus Green-Yellow Yamato, and it looks like the Rosinante is going to be going first, and they mulliganed back their first hand. Let's go ahead and look at what they mulliganed back real quick. Okay, so yeah, Rosinante chose to go first. Interesting. So we have Jinbei in this list, guys. We got Jinbei in here. Looks like a Sugar and 2 Rosinantes. And they mulligan and get a Sugar and 2 Rosinantes. Instead of getting Jinbei, they get 2 Mihawks. Very funny. Okay, that's unfortunate. That happens. I would not consider this a great pull, but, it is what it is. Excuse me. Now, choosing to go first is very strange to me. I actually would have preferred to go second, I think, if I were Rosinante, because we're already running the 2-cost Rosinante. Sorry, the leader and this character are both called Rosinante. We're already running the 2-cost Rosinante. So if Yamato goes first, and let's just say they play out a Momonosuke, sure, that's fine with me, and then we play out a 2-cost Rosinante, on our turn 1, well, we can block their attacks still. So I do think it would have probably been better or more desirable to go second as Rosinante, but I am definitely not an expert on this leader, so maybe not. We'll have to see. All right, so they play out. So the Yamato player plays out a Momonosuke, and it looks like they draw an Otama, the OP07 Searcher 2K counter Otama from that search. All right, that was a nice top deck, I will say that. Getting Doflamingo right away, doing a top 5 search. Now we can set everything the way we want it. Let me pause and see something real quick. So we have, again, so there's that Jinbei, and there's the Pacifistas we saw from the Mulligan hand, and a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. So in this situation, I wouldn't be surprised against Yamato if they just want to get some blockers here, because getting blockers seems pretty good to me. But let's see how they adjust it. They might want to ship it to the bottom. No, they do keep it on top. Okay, so they get the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger first. So I'm not a huge fan of that, because we can't use it next turn no matter what, right? So when we draw that card, we're going to be on 5 Dawn. There is no way we can use that right away. So I think at the least, let me see how he sorts it. He goes right here, gets that there, yeah. So I think what I would have done is maybe put out Jinbei first, so that way next turn we can play out Jinbei, and then maybe, I guess we can't cheat out any blockers or anything, but it all depends on how we want to do this. Or maybe even play out, get the Doflamingo first. But getting Raging Tiger first, I don't like that as much. Excuse me. But it is preference-based. You know, when you're doing a top 5 search, that is very much of a preference thing, what you think you can get away with. And did we swing that turn? I'm sorry. We swung into the Momonosuke earlier. Okay, we're good. All right, just making sure we're all caught up, guys. Okay, swinging 9 into there. I understand wanting to keep your life high as Rosinante, because, obviously, you know, when you keep 2 things. Rosinante is a blocker leader. That is his main thing, is he can block for his characters to help keep them alive. However, you know, it still is not terrible to take that first hit from Yamato, I feel like. But there's an argument against that. That does turn on their Land of Wano triggers. So, hey, that was fine. I don't think that was a blunder or anything like that. Okay, next up, it looks like... Okay, yeah, I think this turn we should probably establish another Rosinante. Okay, we're going to play out the 3-cost Mihawk as opposed to the 4-cost one. And... Oh, okay, so look what they did here, guys. It looks like they tried to They tried to play out the Mihawk to play out the other Mihawk, because it is a 4-cost or lower slash type character. However, we got a real problem here, don't we? Because if you read the character on the right, this is their effect that they were trying to pull off. If you have 2 or less characters on the field, which we do, and you want to play up to 1, you can play up to 1 4-cost or lower Shigeru or slash trait character card from your hand. Okay, we can do all that. However, it just cannot be named Draco Mihawk. That's the one stipulation, and of course that 4-cost 2K counter 5,000 power character is a Mihawk. So they're not going to be able to play out that look. And it looks like they're like, oh crap, you know, it looks like they moused over it, they realized it. That was definitely a blunder. Excuse me, but hopefully we're going to be able to bounce back from that. We still have 2 Dawn open. We can play out a Rosinante to stop the next attack from the Yamato. But hopefully we're going to be able to bounce back from that. Yeah, play out no target because we have no legal targets. And did they forget to swing as well? Hang on. Oh gosh. So another important lesson from this, guys, do not get tilted when you make a mistake. Like, it's okay to be like, I should not have done that. That was a mistake. Now I will learn from that. I'll remember it after this game. However, it looks like they got tilted there and they didn't swing with the leader. Okay, and it did not stand up from the effect, guys. Watch. See, like, let me go back. See, watch. The leader's active. They have not swung yet. They play out the Rosinante and they don't swing, period. So that was a blunder followed by what I would consider to be a mistake. Technically, you don't want to... Sometimes you might choose not to attack so that you can, you know, play around triggers. But you have 4 life. So there's no reason really to do that in this situation, because even if they get a trigger that can cause you to, you know, that has to, you know, that has a cost of trashing a card from hand, they're still losing a card from their life and from their hand to get that character on the board. So I do think we should have attacked there. Okay, let's see what happens. Hopefully we can bounce back from this. Clear your mind whenever you get tilted, guys, and go for it. Swing for 9, use up our blockers. I do like that. I think that's fine. Playing out the Otama here, okay? And they draw a, You Can Be My Samurai. So we know that 1 Otama came from the Momonosuke Searcher. Now we know that in their hand they have a You Can Be My Samurai. And they have 8 cards in hand. Let's see what else happens. They got 1 Dawn left. Okay, play out another Otama, and they draw into a... Let's see. You Can Be My Samurai. So we know 2 of those cards in hand are actually kind of dead cards, but they're going to replace themselves very soon, you know, very quickly with these Otamas. So I wonder... Yeah, it looks like... they're mousing over it now. I wonder if they're going to play out the sugar to deal with one of these Otamas. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world here, and you'll be able to get some value now from your Mihawk. I think that was probably a fine play, and we have 5 Dawn left, so we could play out the Searcher and play out the Dracula Mihawk. So the top 5 Dofi, Blocker, Searcher, whatever, and then play out the not the Mihawk, excuse me, the Rosinante. Okay, so right here, they deploy that, and now we can see what's coming. Okay, that 9 cost Zoro will be very good for us here. Because Yamato does not really have removal like that. I mean, I don't think... Let me pause. I like the way this is positioned. Yeah, I do like the way this is positioned. But one thing that is scary is we have no 2K counters coming at all. We have no 2K counters coming in the distant future, or in the near future here. We only have one 2K counter character. Hopefully these blockers are going to be able to, you know, take us home. I like the way this is positioned. But one thing I was going to say was, I don't think Yamato runs Raigo, which can KO any character, but you go down to 1 life. So I think if this Zoro sticks next turn, which will be on curve, by the way, it will be on curve, this could spell disaster for this green-yellow Yamato player. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So we're going to swing 7 into face. Very good. We did miss 1 attack last turn, but that's okay. So boom, they take that. Very good. And it was nothing. No trigger. And now let's see what our player at the top does, the green-yellow Yamato player. They have about 10 cards in hand, guys. So... imagine if we were running Pudding in this list. I don't know. I'll check at the end. So we will look at the deck list at the end. Oh, and we got a Sanji. It's too bad we didn't know about that first. I'm surprised they chose to take a life here. So this is interesting to me to take a life at this point of the game, because what's probably going to happen next turn is the Hody Jones turn once they see our Zoro drop, and then you can just tap down the blockers. So I personally would not have taken this. I would have blocked with the Doflamingo, stayed at 4 life, let them play out the 5. They have 5 Dawn left. It's probably going to be a Momonosuke, right? That's probably what's going to be, or maybe a 5-cost Yamato. Okay, Hiyori, sure. So they could have swung for 9. They just chose not to. Unless, maybe, who knows? Wait, what are they doing? They tap that down. Okay. Okay, that was so odd to me. So we have to criticize the top players' play a little bit here. Who cares about the sugar in this situation? Oh, wait a minute. The sugar tapped down the Hiyori. Okay, okay. Well played. Well played. Okay. I was so confused there, guys. I was so confused at what was going on there. So now they're going to go ahead and cheat out the Momonosuke with the Hiyori, I believe. And what they wanted to do, but they can't now, is they wanted to use that last 1 Dawn to use You Can Be My Samurai and then cheat out a 5-cost character with the Hiyori to draw another card. You know, that'd have been a 3-draw card. Okay. And they don't play out anything? Interesting. Very interesting. Well, right here, this is our best bet to just slam down a what's his name? 9-cost Zoro. Yep, swing that in there. So, man, this Mihawk misplay at the beginning of the game is coming back to help us out quite a bit. He is taking out 2 characters already. He took out that 0 card. I don't understand why they did not use that card. Their hand must be bricked. Swing for 5. We've got 9 Dawn open. Guess what's about to come down here? Boom. Zoro, your turn. If I'm the Yamato player in this situation, after all that's transpired there, I am going face. I'm dropping Hody Jones, and I'm just going for lethal. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, oh well. Like, that's my mindset. And by the way, I don't think there's any way for us to get lethal, right? So they have 10 Dawn. The most they can swing for is 8 with Yamato. Well, I guess technically they can swing for 9 if they have a 200 million volts of Maru in hand. And then Hody Jones, of course, is what I was saying for the other 7. So it'd be a 9-10. 9 double attack into a 10. But then they still probably could get out of it. We'll have to see. Okay, I might fast forward a little bit here because it looks like they're just taking a while. Okay, they swing 5 into 0. Very good. Yep, sure. Block that. Okay. Okay, that scared me. I thought you were going to take the double attack. Very nice. Block the 5 for the 5. Give them a 1K counter. We're keeping the pudding alive. Or, not the pudding. The sugar alive. And now... But I'm not really concerned about the sugar. I'm surprised that even happened. I really want to know what happens here. Are they going to drop down? Maybe they're going to drop down a 10-cost Doflamingo here. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. We're just waiting for them to make their play. Momonosuke into Hiyori. So I've said this many times, guys. Before you choose to do anything, if one of the things in your mind to do was to draw cards, always draw your cards first if you can. There are certain situations where you cannot do that, but I should have busted out the accuracy meter earlier. But guys, that would have just been an inaccuracy. It's not. Maybe it's a mistake. It's not a blunder. It's just a mistake or an inaccuracy where it's like, okay, you had a more optimal play there, and where you could have gotten other potential, value from it. And the same thing can be said earlier when we played out the Dracula Mihawk. Of course, that was a slight blunder in the sense that we could not play out what we wanted to. That was a missed opportunity for us. We didn't actually understand what the card did. Okay, so now let's see what happens. They play out the Hiyori. Of course, the moment... They played it out in the wrong order, too. So if they were going to do this play, it should have been play out the Hiyori. So that would get tapped by the sugar, right? And then play out the Momonosuke. Or hang on, did I miss something? So they played that out. Yeah, you tap down that. Sugar can still do her effect if she's rested or not, guys. At least that's what we're seeing right here. I have not read that card in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So they should have played out the Hiyori first if they were going to go for this line of play. Tap down the Hiyori, who cares? Then you could do the Momonosuke search and do whatever from there. But that's okay. It looks like we're going to get out the Momonosuke. And guys, I don't know who this person is at the top, but you cannot bounce a Momonosuke back to the top of your life. So they got absolutely no card to the top of their life with these Momonosuke's. That just feels like such a waste to me. I'm sorry. Yeah, notice what that card said. Pause it and read it if you needed to. Like, go back and pause it and read it. You can only bounce back a land of Wano character that is not named Momonosuke. So 4 and a 0, who cares? I probably would have swung 0 into 0 there, to be honest. But I don't know if it even matters right now. So we need to start bashing in with Zoro. Okay? Okay, we're going to swing for 6 first. That's fine. Let's see what kind of play they have lined up here. I think we have a Jinbei on top of on the top of our deck right now, right? Okay, yeah. No, I like that. I like the idea here to play out the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. They're mousing over it. I paused it. I wonder if they do that. Absolutely, because then we still have the 3 Dawn, right? We'll still have... Actually, no, we did the math a little wrong. So, okay. So, real quick, what should have happened there, in my personal opinion, is what you do is you Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to remove both of those 5-cost bodies. You swing 5 at life. They're probably going to 1k counter out. It doesn't matter. But then you're going to swing 9 into face 3 times. Okay, so that's how I would have done that personally. But let's see what triggers happen first. Let's see. We need to see what triggers happen here first. The Kikanojo. Yep, that's something we got to be careful of. And now just play out the what's his name? The Rosinante. However, the problem with this idea, there's a few problems here. They still have a sugar on the board. So if they choose to play out like Hody Jones to tap down the 2 blockers, well, I guess they could still technically win the game right here, can't they? Depending on what's in your life. Yeah, because just tap down both blockers. They can tap down the Hody Jones with the sugar. We don't even care about that. And then we go, you know, what is it, like 7 at life, and then all the rest on Kikanojo. So go 8 at life, 8 on Kikanojo maybe, or 7 at life, 7 with Yamato, and 9 on Kikanojo. That's probably the correct play here. If they even have, I don't know either of these players' lists. Okay, we're going to swing for 9 first. Okay, so that is odd. So just use a blocker here, right? Okay, or don't. Yeah, so they're not going to use a blocker here for some reason. That was very strange to me. So I would have used the, I would have probably used the Doflamingo blocker in that situation. That's fine with me. Let him go. And now this guy would play out Hody Jones. We still have 2 life. He taps down what he needed to. And now here we go. Unless maybe one thing that they might have been trying to do was get, you know, see if they could counter out the double attack. But here's my problem with that logic. We already have a 2k in hand, and they only had 7 Dawn active. So we know their leader attack cannot go through. It's impossible because we already had that Dracula Mihawk the 4-cost one the whole game. So, you know, I would rather just use up my blocker there because one's getting tapped down anyway. He has 7 Dawn open, right? He was telegraphing what he was going to do, and you still have the sugar on the board to tap his guy down. So that's just what I would have done personally. Okay, so this guy probably realizes now he can't win. Yeah, this game's over, right? Yeah, let it go. Absolutely. That was the right call. Just let the sugar go because it just won you the game anyway. Now, right here, we just go maybe 11. Okay, they want to go. All right, very nice. So we'll go 16 3 times. Okay, GG. There's no way he gets out of this 16, right? He would have to have all 2k counters in hand and maybe a few others. Okay, you win. Very nice. Oh, gosh. See, now, and we knew, remember, we did know that 2 of those cards were You Can Be My Samurai from the beginning of the game. So that's, you know, important math to know that he only has 5 cards in hand. So those 15s we're going to go through no matter what. Really good stuff there. And then worst case scenario, we could have swung with our leader at the very end. So let me show you guys the list real quick because they did add the list to the beginning of the video. This is it right here. Let me go ahead and move the overlay. This is the list they were running. And let me move my face. Pretty solid looking list. We didn't even see the Eustace Captain Kids. The Zoros and the Rosinantes, I love those at 2 ofs. I think that's like a perfect number. I've said it before many times. People get mad at me. I think Zoro is a strong card, guys. I just think it's a 2 of. Like, it's the perfect 2 of in any deck that can run it, I feel like. That's my personal opinion. Eustace Kid is the perfect 3 of. I've said that before as well, where you don't want like a full board of them. It can clog your hand. But 3s, like, just in case you skip over it with some type of search effect, which, by the way, you can't even do in this deck, by the way. So you got, you know, by the way, guys, you got Perona, Doflamingo. You can't even skip over it unless you absolutely, you know, choose to. Top 5 Searcher in Perona, top 5 Searcher in Doflamingo. It's running a small 7 Warlords of the Sea package with the Jinbeis, Trafalgar Laws, Mihawks. Where's the other Mihawk? I don't see the other. Oh, there it is. Here's the other Mihawk and the other Trafalgar Law. Running 2 Edward Weevils. I really wish we actually had more Edward Weevils. Like, maybe even get rid of the Rosinante, excuse me, the Boa Hancock. And I don't think we need this Sentimaru pack. Sentimaru. Well, you see what I'm doing there. Because Sentimaru can search up Pacifistas. The Bartholomew Kuma Pacifista engine, I don't know if we really need that in this list. Like, I almost think, why not just run 4 Boas here? 4 Boa Hancocks, maybe? Again, this is just my opinion. Run whatever you want to. The list looks like it's working fine. I can see where this list still works even without any kind of special revisions. It's a solid list, guys. Green-Blue Rosinante is very, very solid. It's an off-meta contender for sure. The Boa, like I said, it feels a little bit out of place to me. At least, okay, I'll say it like this. I feel like there needs to be a decision made where it's like, okay, do you want the Eustace Kids or do you want the Boas? And I understand some people, you know, are thinking, this guy included, we're like, well, why not run both? Well, you want a little more consistency in your deck, right? You want to, like, have a deck that is as consistent as possible. And one thing that I would do to kind of tighten this deck up, so to speak, at least to my liking, you know, and hey, guys, build the deck how you want to build it, right? I would get rid of both the Kumas and the Pacifistas. I'd go up 2 Edward Weevils. I would take out this 6-cost Boa Hancock and put in the 4-cost blocker Boa Hancock. And actually, I wonder how many 3-cost and 2-cost blockers do we have? So we have Doflamingo and Rosinante. So we do have some targets to push out with Eustace Kid. I do like that. So yeah, that's probably how I would have done it, guys. I would have taken out these 4 cards right here, the Pacifista stuff, for 2 more Edward Weevils, and take out the Boa for 3 of the 4-cost blocker Boas. So that way we actually, you know, we kind of break even on 1K counters. Actually, we go up 1K counter because Boa Hancock does have a 1K counter. So we would lose 1 blocker, but I think we'd go up a little bit of consistency because remember, you can cheat out the Boa Hancock with the Jinbei, and now you have a blocker if you need one. So just something to consider, something to brainstorm. I think the list looks really solid, though. And hey, guys, if anyone's interested in playing this deck, give it a try, man. Really cool stuff here. Okay, let me go ahead and get us back on track here for Blue Yellow Ace. That's where we got to go with this with today's video. Okay, and we're good to go. Let me go full screen. So first things first, in OP08, we have already seen 1 Blue Yellow Ace deck. Let me make my face a little bit smaller down here with the camera. We have 1 Ace deck, 17-player tournament first place, and I think this is the list that I based my deck off of in today's video that you're going to see, guys. I'm not a huge fan of what's going on here. I wish it feels a little cluttered, but it doesn't. It's not that it's bad or anything. Let me walk through the list and I'll explain it. Okay, first and foremost, this is the leader, guys. It is a 5,000 power 4-life leader, blue-yellow colors, Whitebeard Pirates type, Dawn ×2, activate main once per turn. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 of the 5-cost characters to the top of your life face up, then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then there's a clause, right, there's a restriction here. At the end of your turn, you have to trash all face-up cards in your life. That is rough, right? At the very end of your turn, you have to trash all face-up cards in your life. So, right away, some cards that come to my mind would be like, for example, the 8-cost Katakuri can be used as like straight removal in this deck. Like, say you have like 3 life with this leader, right? And they play out Katakuri. They can just push a character to the bottom of your life face up, and then at the end of your next turn, it's going to go away unless you can use cards to get to take it. And there are some options in this deck with Hiyori. She can put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand, and probably Flampe as well. Yeah, and the Flampe can take to add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. Now, yes, you can play around an effect like that, but imagine you're losing a 2K counter and you're still losing the momentum anyway, and they just establish an 8K body, an 8-cost 8K body. But other than that, let me run through the list real quick and we'll talk more about it. So they're running 2 Gadatsus, 4 Satori, 4 Hiyori, 2 Shanks, 4 of the baby Ace, 3 of the adult Ace, 4, 3 of the Rush adult Ace, because there are multiple different kinds in here, 4 Garp, 4 of the baby Luffy, 4 of the buff Luffy, the one that buffs, or pumps, however you want to say it, 2 Violas, 3 Flampe, 3 of the Rocket Boots KO Luffy, 4 Pudding, 4 of the blocker Ace, 1 Margaret, just a single Margaret, as strange as that is, as odd and peculiar as that is, and then 2 3,000 Worlds. And we're running 51 cards in this list, so it looks like it's all set up the way it needs to be. So let's talk about this leader effect real quick, guys. You're adding 5 cost characters from the top of your deck to your life. You're doing a top 5 search, and you're saying, okay, I'm going to add one of these 5 cost characters to my life. Now, understand, you can add any 5 cost character to your life. Gedatsu, Satori, Ace, Luffy, any of these 5 cost characters you see on here. However, the ones that we're going for are the ones that can combo with the baby versions of the card. Let me read what this does real quick. This is a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter character, Ace, and it says activate main. You may trash this character and look at the top card of your life. Okay, well, we don't have to look at it when we know what it is from the leader's effect, right? And then, if the card is a 5 cost Ace, you may play it. And if you play it, your leader gets plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's turn. So you see what's happening. You're going to attach 2 Dawn your leader, and let's just say in the case of Ace, Luffy says the same thing, by the way, but for Luffy. So let's just make up an example real quick. We attach 2 to our leader. Let's say we have 4 Dawn turn. We attach 2 Dawn to our leader, and then we use the effect to put, let's just say, this Ace on top of our life. Okay. Well, at the end of the turn, remember, it comes into your life face up. It's going to go away at the end of the turn. So what we do to get value from that is we play out the miniature version, the baby version, and that plays the card to the field for 2 cost. And then it buffs our leader for 2,000 power until the end of our opponent's turn. So that means we're going to get to swing for 9 that turn, and we're 7,000 power on defense. That is the major interaction with this deck. Now, there are a few things that are cool, too, to get in there. Like, if you need to just... Okay, say you need to gain life. There is a really cool... there are 2 major cards that allow you to literally gain life in this deck. Excuse me, there's 3. First of all is Hiyori. So, like, let's say you put a card on top of your life. Like, let's just say it's Satori. Hiyori will grab that card, and then you can put another card on there face down. You don't have to put it face up. So you gain a life in that way. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're not gaining a life. Understand, guys? You're not gaining life with this leader's effect. You're gaining a life momentarily to benefit from it with your 2 cost cards like this. However, you can gain life with cards like Hiyori because it takes that card and then puts it back, puts back another card face down. Now, Viola can turn all of your life cards face down, and this is a 2 cost blocker with a 1k counter on it. A 1k counter on it. This card is absolutely cracked. It's extremely good, right? This card is extremely good for what we're trying to do. Okay, and then one more card I want to talk about is Flampe. Now, technically, this does not gain you a life, like I was saying, but it does allow you to cash in on that card. So let's just say it's a Gedatsu on top of your life, right? Okay, so let's say you had no other better option. You had to put a Gedatsu in your life. Okay, no problem. That was only 2 Dawn invested, right? And we're a 7k leader now anyway, so we're fine. Now, we can actually spend 1 more Dawn. So that was 3 Dawn invested, and now we're drawing that Gedatsu and another card from this character's effect. And remember, guys, with Black Yellow Luffy, you can't do this because of the way the card is worded. Because of the way the leader is worded, it shuts that potential down. But in Ace, the bottom decking effect of the leader happens at the end of your turn. So as long as we're on your turn, it's not the end of turn, we can do whatever we want to manipulate our life. Okay, really good stuff there. Let me see. Anything else? Everything else is pretty straightforward, guys. Like I said, your combo is, of course... So let me say this real quick, too. With Garp, you're searching for the 2 cost characters. Okay? The leader is searching for the 5 cost characters. The searcher Garp is looking for the 2 cost characters. All right? And I've seen some lists even run the 1 cost event that does searching as well. And hey, with that, I would also search for the 2 cost characters. Because every turn, you're going to get the potential to draw a 5 cost character to your life. Okay? But you're not going to get the potential to get a 2 cost character. And that's where this comes in handy. Like, this is our only way to snag those if we don't have them in hand or if we don't draw them from life or from our deck. The Shanks is very interesting. Read this card real quick, guys. I will read it because I do think this card's very solid. I don't know if it works very well in this deck, at least not from my playtesting. It's a cool card in theory, but it does have some struggles. This is a 7-cost, 7,000 power character, no counter, Shanks, and 4 Emperors, red hair pirates. On play, you can flip one of your face-up life cards face down, and if your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, trash up to 1 card from the top of their life. Now, understand, you don't have to. They don't have to have 7 cards in hand. Okay, you can just flip the card face down, and then hey, if your opponent doesn't have it, then they don't lose a life. However, if you can combo it where they also lose a life, it's just massive, right? Oh gosh, guys, the storm's coming. It's starting to thunder outside. Hopefully, I don't lose power in the middle of this. We got to pick up the pace, guys. It's starting to get nasty outside. Okay, so this list, hopefully that explained. If you have any other comments or questions, or if I didn't answer anything, if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment section below. The only 2 cards that I wanted to mention was this is a blocker that draws a card. They're just running as a 1 of. 4 Pudding is really good for manipulating your opponent's hand. And then 3,000 Worlds is just an incredible way to bottom deck, 5-cost characters. This helps you play around leaders like Black Yellow Luffy. Okay. Now, we will check out OP07 real quick. Actually, I'm just going to kind of blitz through these. That was OP08, what we just looked at. But notice it was just all OP07 or earlier cards. There are no OP08 cards in this list that I can see. And y'all help me out if I missed one. Now, for OP07, this is still in the East. Look at this, guys. Pretty much identical with a few different things here and there. The concepts are all the same. They're running a 5-cost, 4,000 power, 2K counter Rush card. It's 5 costs, so it's perfect with your leader's effect. And oh, I'm glad I brought this up. One thing I wanted to mention is I really, really wish they had made Ace red yellow. Like, I wish Sabo was red yellow, I wish Ace was red yellow, and I wish Luffy was red yellow. Because that's what they did with the red purple ST-10 Ultimate Ultra deck, whatever, where it was the 3 captains, Luffy, Kid and Killer, and Trafalgar Law. Why not have the red-yellow theme go on with this one? I don't know. I wish they had done that. I like that they're very unique because, hey, these are 3 brothers. The 3 captains are all aligned on the same team kind of thing, right? They're all going on, they have the same goal. Whereas, like, the 3 brothers, like, yeah, they are related. Well, sort of. Y'all know what I'm saying. They're brothers, but they're all on their different path. But red-yellow Ace would have been so good, guys. Y'all know what I'm thinking. Like, that would have just been so awesome. But anyway, let me get back to reality here. Back to reality. Out of Magic Christmas Land. The list looks pretty much the same. It is running one of the 3 brothers Bond card. This is like the Garp Searcher, but in event form. It's running 4 Pilafs, which I think is very interesting. It's running some Red Rocks to bottom deck cards. It's running the Boa Hancock as a 3-of to stop things. I guess that's decent on curve type of play. We're like, okay, turn 1 pass on 2 Dawn. Like, oh, that's another thing I need to mention, guys. You always want to go second with this leader. Okay, at least for the most part. Maybe there's a few. There might be a few leaders you want to stop from going first, but you really want to go second with this deck. I'm not saying you have to, but it really helps. If you go first, you still have options like with Garp. And you do have a good odd curve with these 5-cost cards. But anyway, typically speaking, you want to go second. And Boa Hancock will be really nice right on turn 3 after you had a really massive turn on turn 2. Because turn 1, like I said, 2 Dawn, pass, do a Searcher pass, whatever you had to do. Turn 2, set your life card, go to 7,000 power for the turn, establish a 5-cost body, and then smash in. And then on the following turn, if you could just shut down whatever they were trying to do and get a 6-cost 8K on the board, that does have a lot of very powerful tempo attached to it. But then everything else is pretty much the same, guys. Everything else is the same. They're running Red Rocks over the Gravity Blade Raging Tigers. Or excuse me, it was 3,000 Worlds we were looking at. Yamato is interesting. So notice the on play. Look at all your life cards and then place one of the cards on the top of your deck. Then return your life cards in any order. Hang on. Look at all your life cards. Place one of the cards on the top of your deck. Then return your life cards in any order. So this can allow you to set up your life cards and place the card on top that you put there with your leader effect. Like, let's just say, let's say you got a dud from your leader effect. You got a Satori, right? Okay, no problem. We can still get that card to the top of our deck and be able to drop down this Rush character if we need to. It's a 5-cost, 4,000 power Rusher with a 2K counter. Add 1 Dawn and we're attacking. You know what I mean? So that's very, very solid. With the ability to, help fix things, and set up your life accordingly with your leader effect whenever you whiff with something like a Satori or something like maybe even one of these Aces or Luffys when you don't have a 2-cost card in your hand. Okay, so that's that one. Let's go back. Let's go to the next one here. And these are all going to look very, very similar, guys. And notice this one has almost the exact same thing, except they added in ulti. They're not running the 1-cost event, and they're not running the Boa Hancocks. They're just running 2 ultis. So, okay, it's a 4-cost 5K, 1K counter. If your leader's multicolored, ours is. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 to your hand. Then place the rest in any order on the top or bottom of your deck. I do like this card a lot because it's like another way. It's like another GARP where you start searching for your 2-cost guys. Because there comes a time in the game where you're out of 2-cost characters, guys, and it starts feeling really, really crappy. It starts feeling really, really awful. So really good. You know, I do like this tech card quite a bit, and I did not play with it in the games we're going to look at today. This is OP07 Ace. This card's really, really solid. Of course, we're seeing this one in all the decks, and everything else looks about the same. Now let's look at one more list. I think, was this the first one we started with? Yes, I think so. Yeah, this is the first one. Let me look at the top one then. Yeah, this is the one we hadn't seen yet. So this one is running Sanji as a 2K counter, which is very good. This card and another card called Daifuku, which is from the Big Mom Pirates type, they have the exact same effect where you can, you know, when you attack, you can add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and then add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So if you have a card on top of your life like this Gadatsu or this Satori or any of these cards, honestly, that are 5 cost, you can use that to draw a card and to gain a life for the turn, because this puts it into life face down, where you don't have to lose at the end of turn from your leader's effect. So Sanji, I really like that 2K counter. That seems really, really good. Only running 2 GARPs seems a little bit wild to me, but hey, you know, if they're making it work, they're making it work. It's that simple. But like I said, the thing that really helps push this deck into the, let me see, 51. Okay, what really allows you to high roll with this deck is when you're getting your leader effect every single turn. That's where it gets crazy. Okay, so that's it for that, guys. I do want to check out one more thing. I got to plug my guy, MoashDMC's channel real quick, because he got a top 16 placing in OP07 with blue, yellow, ace. I will link his video in the comment section below, this video you're seeing in the background. This is his YouTube channel. He also does a lot of stuff on, I think, like One Piece theories, like the actual anime and the manga stuff, which is really cool. Like I said, I'll plug him in the comment section below. Big shout out to Moash, because this is his version of the deck of blue, yellow, ace for OP07. Everything looks about like what we've seen already, except they are, you know, he is running the Gravity Blade Raging Tigers and the 200 million volts of Maru. The Gravity Blade Raging Tigers seem really good, but sometimes I'm looking at the Red Rocks, I'm like, man, that does seem pretty nice, right? Because we're trying to sit at 7,000 power for the turn, so their little guys don't matter as much. Whereas, like, okay, but Gravity Blade does, like, rip 2 5 costs off the board if you're going against, like, Black Yellow Luffy. I don't know, it's a hard call. It's definitely a hard call. But really good stuff here. Again, this was about 2 weeks ago now, but big shout out and grats to Moash for the smooth placing at a at a case tournament. Really good stuff there, and that was a Eggman hosted event. Okay, now let's go ahead and hop over to the sim. We got 5 games to go through, guys, before we get into the deck analysis and breakdown, and where I tell y'all what I think about it and all that good stuff. Let me get us set up. Okay, volume is off and speed is on 2x. Here we go. Let me hit play, and we're off to the races. Okay, so first game is against Lucci. We got blue, yellow, ace versus mono, black, OP07, Lucci. I'm going to start off with the GARP searcher. I'm going to try to grab what I can here. There were no 2-cost options available, so I go ahead and grab something I don't already have in my hand, and then, you know, you got to prioritize like that. Like, first is 2 costs, then it's 5 costs. Okay, so they're going to swing 5. I take this. One thing I noticed is you want to get down to 2 life. 2 life is the hot spot. First of all, it lets you draw 2 cards from your life, right? Like, that's number 1, is you're going to start drawing cards from your life. And number 2, it turns on your 5-cost rush ace. Okay? And it lets you fix your hand in some ways. But you got to be careful against blue decks. They could put in you. You guys know the drill. Okay. So right here, I attach 2 to my leader. I'm doing the leader effect. And notice I do have a, I do not have a single 2-cost character that I can play from my hand, right? Or to cheat these out from my hand. So let's see what I do here. I'm probably going to use a Hiyori or a Flampe here. Okay, so I set. Oh, that's one other thing I have to mention, guys. Notice how I was setting that at the end of the end of the cycle. Let me hit play. Whoops, it's not moving. There we go. I'm setting it. So now I've chosen the card that I want on top, but I'm going to put the 2-cost characters as close as I can to the top of my deck. You know, not at the very bottom, because you really need to start getting in the habit of making sure you put the correct cards in the correct order at the bottom of your deck, because this leader cycles a lot, guys. You have a 5-card cycle with GARP, you have a 5-card cycle with your leader, and you might even have a 5-card cycle with the 1-cost event. Okay, so start getting in the habit of setting your cards up the way you would want to draw them over the course of the game. So I play out the Flampe to draw a card from the top, and then I grab the card that I just got. I'm starting to actually... How do I say this? I'm actually not in as bad a position as it looks right now. He's probably going to remove that with Lucci. That's fine. Pop my board. Sorry, guys. The old mustache. It's always around this time in the video. The mustache starts going crazy. Starts tickling my nose, making my face itch. Okay, so I pause. So I do the leader effect there. I did not get an ace, and that's the only thing I have in my hand as a 2-cost. So now I'm going to do a top 5 search with Garp to try and grab a Luffy. And we do not get one, but we got a 5-cost Luffy. So right here, I'm going to play out the Hiyori. We're going to cheat out we're going to put something back on top. It's I put up the 5-cost Ace, or the 5-cost Luffy, so I can pop a 4 and less. I swing in for a 9, or for 8, and now, they're at 3 life, we're at 3. I take that. That's where I want to be anyway, is at 2 life, and I can actually cash that in to pop his other character, and I have more of that card coming. I have all 4 of that card now, right? I can reuse that as many times as I need to this game. The 2K counters in this deck, guys, just like with Black Yellow Luffy, the 2K counters go a long way in this deck. Okay, that was very odd that they chose not to pop one of my characters on the board, but I think that's to save their jack, because I might just decide to just smash straight into it if they turn it sideways. So that was probably a good call there. Like, it might not have seemed good at the time, but that was actually a very good heads-up call. Okay, so I got a Luffy, but I have a 2-cost Luffy in hand now, finally. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play out the Luffy, cheating out with the 2-cost effect. My leader now is plus 2,000. I hit them with a pudding, guys. Did y'all see that? Let me pause. I hit them with a pudding for the turn when they had how many cards? They had 7 cards in hand. Okay. Whoops. There we go. And that is devastating, right? Now I'm going to swing for 9 at them. They're dropping down to 2 life. And hey, they're actually in a little bit of trouble now, right? Like they're actually not in a great spot. Because I have a 5-cost 7K rusher anytime I need it. And I can buff my leader pretty consistently. So they're going to pop some cards here on the board. I think they messed up there. I think they meant to pop the pudding. Yeah. So what I think they should have done there is swung first, -1 to the pudding, and then use that other jack that they just played to pop the pudding. I feel like that's just like strictly the correct play here. Okay, and as you can see, they're going to swing 7 into 7 here. I choose not to do it, but they chose not to trash cards either. That was very strange, unless I missed it. Okay, so we get an absolute whiff on our leader effect. That feels terrible. All right, real talk. This is my problem with this leader, is the ability to whiff your leader effect. It feels so horrible. There is no whiffing Black Yellow Luffy's effect, right? You fill up your trash with these 5-cost cards, and you just consistently grab them at whatever rate you want to. There is no whiffing on Red Yellow Sabo's leader effect. Blue Yellow Ace, there is the chance to whiff. Now, I will say this. Blue Yellow Ace probably has one of the stronger leader effects because of what it does. It's almost like you're dealing with a 7,000 power leader at all times. Black Yellow Luffy gets to the point where he's a 9,000 power leader, like towards the end of the game. But Blue Yellow Ace, if you high roll and you're always a 7,000 power leader, your tempo is just so insane because you're also cheating these massive 5-cost characters into play and getting advantage in that way as well. So when you high roll, Blue Yellow Ace is absolutely incredible. But if you don't, and you start whiffing your searches, it is the actual worst feeling. And it's like, man, I absolutely hate this. You know what I mean? So, all right. So we got a whiff on the searcher. That was less than ideal, especially given the board state. So I need to make sure I play this turn exactly correctly. So I have 2 options here. Do I go defensive or do I go aggressive? Ask yourself right now, what would you do? Take into consideration who our opponent is. Nothing I play on the board will stick. Nothing will. Whatever I play will die, right? It will get KO'd. It's gone. So with that in mind, I actually decide here, it's time to start going aggressive. Swing for 5, they're going to give me a 1K counter. Swing for 7 is probably going through. Swing for 8, or 9, excuse me, that's probably going through as well. I've got them on 1 life. So now what I'm doing is I have taken initiative in this game. I'm telling my opponent, you either have to KO me right now, or you have to go full blocker mode to where you can somehow survive next turn. Okay, and let's see what my opponent chooses to do. They're going to -2 to the cost of that. Sure, then they can pop it with Jack. That card is insane. I'm probably going to have a whole entire video dedicated to that card, Jack, guys. We'll talk about that at another date. So they swing for 7. Okay, I'm going to take it. I'm trying to force them to... I'm trying to get them to attack into me and try to go for game so I can beat them with the crackback here. They play out the Rebecca, playing out the Spandam, or let's see what he plays out with that. So the Spandam did a search. Now the Rebecca's going to pull back probably some kind of 2K counter or maybe even some kind of blocker. I don't know. Okay, which they played out another Spandam from the Rebecca's effect. They pulled back a 2K counter, I believe, then played out a Spandam that was already in their hand from the second part of the Rebecca's effect. They're trying to stack 2K counters, guys. Just so everyone understands, they're just trying to stack 2K counters. That's the entire goal here. So I finally got an ace from life where I can actually cash in on it and start doing this. So we're going to play out the ace. We're going to swing in for 7. This is going to require 3 cards, right? Or 2 cards, excuse me. And then I'm going to swing for 10. Let's see if they have it, they have it. And they do. And now I have to survive this turn or I lose. But I have, remember, my leader is 7K. I have a 7,000 power leader, guys. I have 1 life. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. Okay, let's see what happens. Swing for 9. Okay, well, that's an easy one to counter out of. We'll get out of that one. Now they're going to swing for 9 more. And right here, I can't remember what I do. Yeah, I counter out of that one. And let's see what they do. So this is where I think they should have just swung for 9 more. But instead, they decide to play like the safer route, quote unquote. And hey, you don't know what's in my hand. What if I have nothing but 2K counters left? You know what I mean? This is where you have to, whenever you're playing in a real game, guys, you have to keep your poker face on. However, I do just want to mention that I think they should have just gone for game here. Like, that's what I would have done personally, is just gone for game. But hey, again, they don't know my hand. But if they could have gone 11-13, I don't think it's possible for me to get out of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they've only swung for 9. So they still have 9 Dawn left for the turn when I only had 3 cards in hand, 1 card in life, and they had 2 more attacks. So if they had swung for, they had 9 Dawn left, a 5K body, and an 8K body. So I think what they could have done there was swing, put 2, and then 7. Yeah. Well, actually, I guess they could have done like 3 and 6. 3 and 6 would have been an 11 and an 11. I think that might have been their best bet, or maybe go 10-12 at that point. Okay, they play out a Borsalino thinking they're going to be safe here. I know they have no gas left in hand. They had to fully counter out last turn. They are desperately searching for 2K counters right now. I don't have a choice. So for me, it is just go all in here, right? Like, I don't actually have a choice here. So let's see what happens. They have 4 cards left in hand. So right here, I think I just have to, I'm like, wait, what do I do? Okay, I don't really have a choice. I just have to swing for 8 and then swing for 9. Okay, so they do that. And I'm like, okay, swing 9, GG. So 8 was the exact perfect number, by the way, because they had exactly a way to get out of 7. So I'm glad I chose 8. All right, that was a very long first game, but hey, that's a very important matchup. That is a meta matchup. Keep your poker face on, guys. And remember, I did not get a great pull that game. Like, that was by no means a good pull. In fact, it was very rough. And let me see something. Did I go first or second? I just want to see. I did go second, but I whiffed, you know, a very pivotal search with the Blue Yellow Ace leader, which happens. Okay, next up we got Black Yellow Luffy. Let's go speed 2x. All right, we're good to go. All right, so here we go, guys. This is an interesting game here. Let me just say right now that Ace, if he gets a pull, if he high rolls, he can go absolutely crazy, guys. Notice what I have in my hand this game compared to last game. Okay, yeah, this is a different... We're talking about something totally different this game than last game. I've got gas in my hand this turn. Watch what happens here, guys. Okay, they're gonna take their own life here. I don't think they realize that I'm about to go, pedal to the metal right here. Okay, I'm gonna play out the blocker here. Boom. I'm gonna drop him down to 2 life, I believe, after I set my top cards. And we're going in for 9. He's gonna take it. His turn. And like I said, guys, I am not shy about attacking into Black Yellow Luffy. You can play it the safer way like that, but I was like, no, my hand's too good to mess around like this. We're going face. Swing 7, he takes it. Okay, right here, I think I want to do a pudding to crash his hand, play out the, y'all see what just happened there? That pudding is so disgusting. I just demolished his hand. He had, how many cards did he have in hand? Hang on, guys. So he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, and they were all cards he was setting up with everything, and, you know, he had fixed it with the Sabo. Now he has 5 random cards in his hand. I have a full board, and I'm not going to swing for that final attack now because I don't want him to have that effect. He pops the pudding with a 5-cost Luffy, and then he's going to swing 6 into my guy. I'm not letting him have that guy. It's not happening. And now we are going face here, guys. So watch this. Hiyori, I'll replace the top card of my life with Ace. I will play out the Ace, and now we are going to swing 7, 7, and all kinds of good stuff, right? Just all kinds of good stuff here. This is going to cost a lot of... They have to counter out of this one. Understand what they did there, guys? They had to counter out of that one, or else I was coming in for 10 with my leader. So they did that correctly. But now, hey, we're going to swing 7 again. They're going to give me that. Well, I'm going to swing 5 with the Garp now. I'm trying to get as many cards out of their hand as possible and make them as vulnerable as possible. Because notice what has to happen here. Playing out Gecko takes a card from their hand, and now they're going to have to trash a card with their leader effect to gain 2 life. Bad news. They don't even have enough Dawn to do that. They're on their 9 Dawn turn. That's how aggressive I was this game. So this game's over, right? There's just literally no way out of it. They can't even gain a life. 6, there's no way I'm letting him have that. And now we just bash him for everything. 7, 7, 7s. Okay. And boom, 7. Because he has 2 cards in hand, and I could have swung more. All right, GG. That was a fun one. Blue-yellow ace can be a real monster. It can be a real bully. Next up, we have Jewelry Bonney. Hey, guys, we got some meta matchups today. I know people asked for them. This is literally just what I randomly ran into on the ladder. That's just how it works. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so right here, not a great start. Right away, guys, not a great start. I did not get any of the small characters, but I finally got one in that second search. And those guys fuel the deck. If you don't have those little characters, it fuels the deck. So they swing for 7 into me. I'm fine with that, right? I don't care about that. I actually want to go down. I just whiffed a leader search. I guess better earlier than later with the whiffing on the leader. But I want to go down to life, right? I want to get down to 2 life so I can turn on my ace cards in my hand. Okay, let's see what they decide to do here. They're going to play out. So, you know, looking back, I almost wish I had... no, I was going to say, I wish I'd played out the Monkey D. Luffy, but they need to shut down my leader attack. It wouldn't have been worth it. Okay, so I set that up the way I want it. I've got a Luffy on top now. I'm going to play out the Monkey D. Luffy character there. I'm going to smash in for 7. He's going to tap down the Luffy, or he might not even care. Yeah, because he knows I'm just going to play it. It doesn't have to be... that card can be activated, rested, or active. Play out the Garp. And I decided not to pop the Bonney there, because I just think it'd be a little bit reckless. I think it'd be a little bit... I don't think I should do it, basically. Okay, so now he plays out a Basil Hawkins, and let's see what we get. This is a pretty decent matchup, I will say. Like, I think Bonney is an extremely high level, like very top tier competitive deck. But hey, if you see what you need to, you can deal with it pretty. I don't want to say easily, but you can actually deal with this leader. It's just it's rough. It's going to be a long game. It's not going to be like the game we just watched with Black Yellow Luffy. It's going to be a long game. Okay, so we're going to cheat out Ace here, and this is confusing. I'm like, okay, let's see what they want to do. I'm going to swing for 9 into 5. Who do you want to rest? Of course, they're going to rest the bigger guy. That is the correct play. Well, I still have 1 Dawn. I have 3 Dawn. I was going to say, so what I would have probably done there looking back, I wish I had just swung 6, swung 5. But okay, they give me a 3K counter right there with and using a card from hand with that 0 cost event. I go ahead and pop the Luffy to draw a card and pop that card on the board. The what's her name? The Bonney. So now they can't draw cards. They play out the Cavendish to go up. You know, that's a 3 cost 6K is what that card is. It's so incredible. They lock my guy down with Bonney, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to hit him with a pudding here and see how they like that. You know, hey, if you're going to disrespect my board like that, buddy, you're going to pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. But so then we're going to smash in here, see what they want to rest. I don't care what they rest down here. I'm going to... Wait, let's see. So I technically did that in the wrong order, I think. Well, I don't know. I had to cheat out the Luffy no matter what, so never mind. It didn't really matter, to be honest. And then I can play out the Viola, and I'll look at my opponent's last life card. It's a Bartolomeo. Not worried about it. Okay, so right here, I mean, guys, first of all, I've got another pudding in hand. They're going to play out a Eustace Kid here. I'm not too worried. And see, this is where... Okay, so now back to what we were talking about when we were looking at all the different deck lists. This is where Red Rock is just insane, because I could just be like, pop, boom, there goes, I'm going to pop that with my Red Rock, and now you're just in trouble. Okay, so we'll do a top search right here. I whiffed, sort of. I got a 5+ character, and now I can pop that with Luffy to draw a card and go plus 2,000 for the turn, and that will be the play this turn. Okay, so right here, it's like, okay, and they end up just quitting right there. They prematurely quit, unfortunately, but I was going to go for this Eustace Kid. Now, they had a blocker in Basil Hawkins. I have a blocker in Viola. I'm not sure why they quit, to be honest. However, I will say this. Take a look at my hand. I don't have, some joke of a hand over here. Like, this is a very, very serious hand. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 2K counters, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 1K counters. I've got 2 life. I can gain life when needed with cards like Hiyori. I don't feel like I'm in jeopardy of losing this game, but they definitely still could have won this game, right? Like, they could have easily won this game. I could have won this game. It all depends. But just to give an idea of what I was going to do in this situation is, So I have 2 life. I can play out an ace and smash in right away, right? The very first thing I would do is stack 10, or stack my guy to 10, my Luffy. I would make him into a 10k by attaching 2 Dawn and smashing straight in to that guy to either get 2 cards out of hand, which he probably would have done a 2k out of hand. Then I would do the rest on my ace, where it forces a card off the board, and it would probably be the Basil Hawkins. You know what I mean? But who knows? It all depends on what they were trying to do there. I still have a blocker for the following turn and a lot of 2k counter, like ammo or whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. Again, I just think they left a little bit early. That's all I'm going to say. I think they left a little bit early. And I will say I think that Bonney is still slightly favored into blue-yellow ace. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, next game. We got one against red-purple Luffy. We got 2x speed, and we're good to go. Okay, so they get a pretty ideal start. Man, I don't know what it is. I feel like all of the ST-13, you know, Ultra Deck, 3 Brothers set or whatever, I feel like they all have a pretty good matchup into red-purple Luffy. I could be wrong. Who knows? This is just the sim. I get it. I understand. I'm not saying these are like the best players out there. No offense to anyone who plays in the sim. That's what I play all day, guys. But like, I just feel like we have like all of these decks have such a good matchup into red-purple Luffy. Like if I'm playing red yellow Sabo, if I'm playing black yellow Luffy's probably the hardest one into it because the way the game like goes on. But then blue yellow ace, I feel like all of them have such a solid matchup into this leader. But okay, so they're going to swing for 7 to gain a Dawn with their Zoro. And if this is the game I'm thinking of, it's where they're running Black Maria. We're going to talk about that when it gets to it. If this is that game, it might not be. Okay, so I get the Luffy on top. I'm in good shape here. It's time to just start bashing in. I'm trying to do the math. Okay, swing 9, and then it's going to be swing 8. I am just going to be so aggressive this game. Because if they try to get aggressive and attack into my board, I can just dish it out, right? Because again, notice my hand this game. When you have the 2-cost characters in your hand, this deck is insane, guys. When you have the 2-cost characters. That's why it's good to run the Garbs. It's good to run the event, potentially, if you have to. Okay, they play out a back rat, and I think they play out another back rat if this is the game I'm thinking of. No, this is not the game. Okay, they swing 10 into 6. You can have it. But right here, guys, hey, be smart. I swung for 6. Why not just use the back rat here? Don't trash a card from hand, because I'm going to pop the back rat. I'm at 2 or less life. So watch this. They trash a card from hand using that effect. I KO it. I draw a card from it. I do a top 5 search. I'm going to get another Luffy. I'm going up to however much power I'm at now, and I'm considering playing out another card from my hand. I'm like, you know what? Let me go 6 and then go 9. Okay, so swing for 6. They really need to counter out of this, right? Like it's very important that they counter out of this attack here. 1k counter Nico Robin, very good. And then I swing in. They take that. That was for 7. That was for 9. 2 into 2. You can have that thing. That thing did its job. It was just there to do that. They time warp with Luffy. If I counter out of just 1 attack, this game's pretty much over. 7 into 7, sure. Now watch this. When I pass turn, my buff falls off. Okay, it's important to counter out of that one as opposed to the next turn, because your buff falls off at the end of your opponent's turn. Now, that is a little bit different from Red Yellow Sabo's effect that says until the start of your next turn. But I'm just making sure you guys know that. Making sure y'all know. 7 into 5, I can 2k, 1k out of this. Yeah, and I'm going to. Yeah, or I think I 2k, whatever. And then they attack in there. I get the Satori trigger. It's like, okay, absolutely. Are we on 2x speed? I feel like this was going so slow. Okay, we were on 2x speed. All right, so let's see what happens here. I just set my top life card. I'm going to cheat out the ace. This guy's in trouble, right? That's the moral of the story here. I do this top arrangement with ace. I think I pull back the event and the ace. And right here, guys, 6 into 6. You have to give me a card from the hand, and wow. So I don't know why. So they should have 2k countered out of that, but it just doesn't matter, right? So say they 2k counter out of that one. Well, now I swing for probably what was going to be 10 and 10. I think I was going to swing for 10 with Satori and 10 with ace. It's just, how do you get out of that? You know, it's just too much. Okay, we got one more game. We had 5 games on the sim for Blue Yellow Ace today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was I'm going to talk more about it once we get to the deck building part. It's still not my favorite leader because of the potential to whiff. I love when top 5 searching is a part of the deck and you're hang on, guys. Let me pause it. This is another Black Yellow Luffy game, by the way. I love when you can adjust your life and adjust, cards in your deck and all that. But whenever you have the potential to whiff, I can't stand it. It kills me. Like, it deep down inside, it just hurts me. All right, anyway. Not literally, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, so we're going against another black-yellow Luffy player. It looks like they're getting... We have the same start. I get Garp, they get Garp. We're trying to fix our hand. We're trying to tighten everything up here. And like I said, guys, I'm okay with just attacking into Luffy, but in this specific situation, I want him to think I'm not okay with attacking into him. I'm setting up for the next turn to start smashing into him. Swing for 6, I would like to take that, and I think I take this one as well. Yeah, remember, I want to be at 2 life. That is when my ace turns on, my 5-cost ace. Of course, never lucky. We get a straight whiff there, nothing from that. But right here, I think I swing for 7. Hang on, I can't remember what I do right here. Yeah, swing for 7, and then I think I play out like another little brother. Yeah, I play out the Luffy and now the ace. So now no matter what they have or whatever I get from the top, that will be a free encounter, or that will be a free play out for me. Okay, 6 into 2. All right, 7. Let's see what happens here. Yep, I'm just arranging. I actually got the ace here, so I'm gonna turn the gas on. Yeah, it's time. So at this point in the game, it's time to swing. It's time to go gas here. Swing for 7. I'm hoping they take it because I'm going to pudding them if they take it. Okay, let's see what they do. They counter 1, which is odd. So I swing for 9, and now we pop them with a pudding and say your turn. So now we've completely messed up their hand. They randomly put a 1k counter in their trash, I guess trying to fix up their Gecko turn for this turn. They play out Ivankov. They trash a Gecko from the last card in their life, unfortunately. They're going to play out Ace. They're going to be able to swing a bunch here. I'm probably just going to try to go for game next turn, though. Like, I think that's my strategy here. 8 into 7. I can't let you have it for that. 9 into 7. I'm just like, no. I'm just not going to let him have it, right? You're just not getting your way this turn. Okay, use leader effect first to start the game off to see what I'm working with. Okay, so right here, like looking back, I think I should have got the Luffy that pops because then I could pop the Ivankov and draw a card. But I don't think it's the end of the world. There's quite a few options I have here. Okay, and maybe I do that and I don't remember. So I'm swinging 7. He gives me the blocker there anyway, which was smart because I showed that I had the Luffy coming. Now right here, I'm actually going to pull out that Luffy and then put in the ace. Get a little switcheroo there. He does know I have an ace in my hand now, or excuse me, a Luffy in hand now, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. So now I'm going to swing 9 into 7. Let's see what he gives me. It's like, by all means, please counter out of this, you know, if you want to use the last 2 cards in your hand. He trashes a 1k counter Sabo, and then passes, and then I swing for 7 with pudding. An ace gets sent to the bottom of the deck, and now it's their turn again. So what are they going to do here? Are they going to try to go for lethal? Like, that's all that I can think of that they could try to do. But remember, I'm at 7,000 power. I'm not exactly at, like, a low amount of power this turn. And what does he even have? Oh, okay. And then there's a play mistake, unfortunately. He just tried to flampe to draw a card. And watch this, guys. This was a sad one here. We're going to talk about it. Watch what he has in his hand, guys. Watch this. He's going to trash a card to gain a life for the turn. It was a Gecko Moria. Okay, so I'm not saying he could have gone for lethal that turn. He couldn't have. I would have survived easily. But the thing is this. What he should have done, a full 10 Dawn turn, is played out Gecko Moria to pull back an ace and then maybe a Sabo, or it depends on what he has in his trash. And then you trash the card with your flampe after pulling the ace that's in your life all the way back to the field. And then you can basically get to 9,000 power and at least get one more turn to try to survive. But they messed that up by playing out the flampe, thinking they could draw a card. You cannot draw a card like the way that Ace can. Okay, Ace can draw cards from his life that are face up. He loses the card at the end of the turn. Black Yellow Luffy does not. When you play, if you have a face-up life card and you try to pull it to hand with a card like Hiyori or Flampe, it goes to the bottom of the deck, and now you did not satisfy the clause of the card, and you don't even get to do the next part. So you have to be very, very careful when you try to execute that play. It's a very technical play. He's going to gain 2 life, but what do you do now? Smash into my biggest character. Sure, you can have it, or just block. It doesn't matter. Okay? And in this situation, I'm going for lethal. I just have to swing 3 times that can connect. Swing 7, swing 7, swing 7. It's fine. Or 6, whatever. And now we just load everything up here and beat him with Hiyori. GG. Okay, that was a fun one. That was a lot of fun playing this leader. I've got 2 versions to show y'all. Let me move my face. I do need to keep wrapping up. It is getting like apocalyptic darkness, like levels of darkness outside right now. It is, and it's like 5:30 p.m. It's not late at all. Okay, so blue yellow ace here. We already read what this does. So check this out. We got sorry guys, I had to look out the window there for a second. We have pudding, ace, viola. So I'm running 4 pudding, 4 ace, 2 viola, 4 flampe, 4 satori, 4 hiyori, 4 luffy, 4 ace, the 2 costs, 4 of the ace rusher, so the blocker and the rusher, 4 Garp, 4 of the Luffy, the 2 cost, and then 4 of the other Luffy. So we got the one that pops, the one that buffs, and then I'm even running this. This was the edit that I went to. I had a slight change in here where I was running almost exactly what the one deck was running. Let me go back real quick. I based my entire build off of this version, and then I kept adjusting it. I took out the Gadatsus, took out the Shanks, took out the Margaret, took out the 3000 Worlds, and just made it very generic, and I'm kind of going from here. This version is not done. If I were to recommend anyone's build, it would be Moash's. I think this one is very clean, and I think it's very well fine-tuned. I think this is a good route to go. Pause it or check out. I will link his video in the comment section below, like I said. Check out this video and see what he has to say on it. This is, by the way, guys, this is an hour-and-a-half long, like, masterclass on Blue Yellow Ace and him walking through all of his different games played. But this is what I'm running, guys. I did make another, I made one more edit. Let me go to it real quick. This is where I was kind of trending. I was going to start messing. I didn't get to show this off in the video, but I was going to start messing with the Flame Dragon King by going down a few puddings. But let me say this. I think this is a great starting point for you to go with if you want to get into Blue Yellow Ace. And I can't imagine, I have not crunched all the numbers on this, but other than the Hiyori, this list must be so insanely cheap. So, I mean, otherwise, just put in that, if you buy the starter deck, right, the ST-13 Ultimate or Ultra Starter deck, whatever it's called, you can just run the 5-cost Yamatos in here that have Rush that we looked at earlier. You can just run these here. Flampe costs you like about $3 a card right now, $4 a card. Viola's probably super cheap. And then you could buy whatever's left over that you need. I think these Luffys are probably about $7 a pop right now, $7 or $8 USD. I can't remember exactly, but I can't imagine this is a very expensive deck to play, guys. Like even if you just buy every single card, the most expensive card being Hiyori in the list. But like I said, and if that's too expensive, just replace it with any 2K counter you want to, or preferably the 5-cost. This one right here, I'll show you. The 5-cost Yamato. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. I'm looking for it. It's in here somewhere. I might have to just look it up. Okay, I can't ever find it. There it was. It was at the bottom. So here, this card right here is what I'm talking about. So very good stuff here. And yeah, from there are some cards to consider. Let me type in events. There are definitely some blue events you need to consider. Oh, it's just event singular. Whoops. Okay. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, Red Rock, or 3000 Worlds. Sanji's Pilaf is also what we saw in one list. What we saw in Moash's list is he was actually messing around with the 200 million volts of Maru. This is just a good card. And if you need to, hey, you're already running Hiyori, right? You're already running Hiyori. So if you need to put this at like the bottom of your life or something to get life, to mess up your opponent that way, there's a possibility there. This is one of the best 0-cost event counters in the game. This card is so good, and we're already running Hiyori where we can put it where we need it anytime. So there's a lot of potential there. But that's really about it, because otherwise, that's one thing that I was saying. So one thing about this leader is it feels like, okay, number one, if you brick, like I said, that is like worst case scenario, and it feels so horrible. It feels absolutely terrible. But other than that, you're kind of forced into a certain package in the same way that Black Yellow Luffy is. Now, I know what people are saying, like, no, you can do this, this, and this. I understand. I'm not saying you can't do anything. And as we get more and more cards in the future, hey, maybe eventually this will be a full blue, yellow, wipe your pirate list in the future. We don't know. It could be. And that would be incredible. That would be insane, right? That would be awesome. But we're not there yet, right? We're not there yet. But in the future, I think as we get more and more options, this leader will become better and better. But for the current time, for the time being, this seems like the blueprint to make the list, and then you can make slight adjustments for however you want to moving forward with it. Well, all right, guys. This video's already run long enough. I'm done. I'm just yapping at this point. Please do not forget to like, subscribe. Oh, yeah, let me get the Playmat supporters on here real quick. Big shout out to everybody. We had another one that joined recently. Travis, thank you so much, bud. He just bought the most recent Playmat. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the channel and getting an awesome mat that you can show off at locals and stuff. And then last but not least, of course, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you to everybody on here for helping out the channel in the ways you do. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And hey, guys, if you are just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, showing your friends the channel, all of that helps me out, guys. It all helps so much. I really do appreciate it when y'all do that stuff. And yeah, that's it. If you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.